Now, justice system is lagging in fighting crime. That's the view from some community members in the Western Cape who are fed up with repeat offenders committing more crimes. This weekend, a 49-year-old man previously linked to rape cases has been rearrested for killing his 19-year-old girlfriend. In another case in Pietermaritzburg, police officer Richard Smith is in court for allegedly murdering his estranged girlfriend. Smith faces other charges as well. Communities say they are living in terror, so what more needs to be done to have criminals behind bars and serve their deserved sentence? Reporter Ronald Masinda is tracking the developments of the stories for us, and he joins us now live. Ronald, just tell me where you are and what community members have been telling you. I mean, it's the same complaint that everybody has. If you're going to release somebody from prison, at least be sure that he's learned his lesson.
Yes, good morning, Maseko. We are currently in Manenberg. This is where the alleged murderer who killed his 19-year-old girlfriend, it happened not too far from here. He has been detained here in the Manenberg police station. We are being told that Metro Police had detained him following a lead in Mitchell's Plain. But what we can tell you is that many people here in Manenberg were up in arms. They wanted to take the law into their own hands. We do believe that many of them tried to attack this alleged perpetrator. That was before the police jumped on to the scene to stop the people from committing such an act. But many people are up in arms. They say that many of these alleged perpetrators are arrested, but only to be in society months, if not a few years after their arrest. But for more on this developing story, we have been trying to speak to the family of the deceased Elena Lino, the 19-year-old, but they are also in police custody. I am joined currently by Shanda Pascoe. She is an activist here against crime. Shanda, thank you so much for your time. I think what is even more scary is that there's also 2 rape cases that this alleged perpetrator is facing. Tell us more.
And that is the reality that we as the people in these communities have to face every day. These perpetrators they are already allegedly accused of these crimes. They have been incarcerated, and then they are coming out and they do it worse than they've done it before. And that is our people's reality every day.
What is cause for concern then is that they are incarcerated, many of them. They come back to society to recommit these crimes. What is in the issue with the prison system?
The prison system is not a rehabilitation center as they call it, or want us to perceive it as. There, it is even worse for those incarcerated, because I remember it's a mental instability that makes them in the first place do these heinous crimes. Now, if they in the prison system are not looked after and see to it, they do not get the service which they couldn't get outside, because already we are fighting a battle outside of getting these services to people, counseling, psychologists and all of it. How can we then say the prison is the antidote for this alleged perpetrators of these crimes if we do not put the correct measures in place to turn it around and turn their lives around for the better before we put them back in society?
We know that many prisons in South Africa, they are run by the numbers gangs. Can this code be ever broken? We also are led to believe that many of the correctional service warders, they also have accepted that this is the way of life in prison.
That is the sad part of it all, and we cannot blame the warders. You know, corruption has become deep, but we should ask, where does it come from? Those warders are putting their lives on the line every day, but not only their lives, their families' lives. And we can say it as much as we want. Yes, they have chosen to do the job. Who's going to do the job? I'm an activist. I've chosen to die for the cause, and therefore I cannot say that and leave them as is and say that they are wrong to just accept. The law is not in their hands.
Shonda, the recent death of Elena Lino also speaks a lot about the issues of gender-based violence in the community. You've been a person who has been against this issue. Tell us more.
So Elena Lino I mean, it's another case. What we are saying as activists and what I'm saying as an activist against gender-based violence, 365 days, no reactiveness, but preventive. Let us become preventive. You know, our government has these policies that they have to put in power to protect our women. All we have received thus far, and it's sad that Elena Lino had to pay with her life now, yet again. And besides her, there's this children, there's this another sister in KZN. No perpetrator has been arrested in her case. We are saying this year, no engagement around the table with government. We want the Constitutional Court to listen to us. As a people, I want to do a call on our women out there. Let's unite and say enough is enough, but in action. And we call the campaign Action in Unity for Gender-Based Violence. We want our women to rise. We're going to Pretoria and we're going to demand our human right to feel safe and be alive and not be victims and a front pager every day.
Shonda, very lastly, we know that a lot of communities, they believe in mob justice. They say that, you know, taking matters into their own hands has often worked as they're not getting much assistance from police and law enforcement. But you oppose this.
I oppose it. I can understand the frustration of people. Myself have lost loved ones through violence. But in many cases, we have seen there's data that is recorded where mob justice has been done just to find out afterwards that that was not the perpetrator. And then what do we say when a life is lost? It only makes us all murderers in the end, and our mental stability has gone with it. A lot of healing has to take place with our people, but mob justice is not one of them.
All right. Roxana, thank you so much for your time. That was Roxana Pasco talking to us about the issues faced here on the ground in Manenberg. We do know that even her own story, she is a person who has previously been threatened by an alleged gangster person who was previously convicted, but because she was a whistleblower, Masego, her life is now in danger because this alleged perpetrator is out on the streets. And this is a story of many people in areas such as Manenberg, people who feel that they do want to be part of crime fighting, but it comes at a great risk, a risk that many of them now have to try and find ways to run away from areas like Manenberg. We know that she's currently in hiding and she no longer lives in Manenberg. But from the other conversations that I had, I know that the city's law enforcement has lauded their own work during the festive season. We are still waiting for crime stats to come out that speaks about the festive season. But the issues here on the ground is that crime and violent crime continues to take place on a daily basis. We'll be continuing this conversation with several other people from various communities in the province.